Thank you for joining us for Chatting in the Void, a conversational podcast hosted by Cthulhu Tilly and Holic. Episode 15 of Chatting in the Void. Welcome.
Ain't no way.
We're not late. Not even 1 minute late. You know, a wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Yes, of course.
Not a second late.
Episode 15. You care to explain yourself, Tully, as to why it is not episode 16 right now.
Yeah, so, Saturday of last week, I ended up being busy with some stuff, and after the time, like, I was busy during the recording of the podcast, and then after that, I actually did something that you would approve of. I started watching the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime.
Wait, which one?
Season 1, but like,
okay.
I don't know, he fought Pegasus.
Oh, that's such a good
5
fight.
episodes.
Let's go. That's my favorite.
I still don't understand what's going on. I think that's intentional.
It is 100% intentional. They didn't know what they were doing. I'm glad that...
I think they knew that they were plotting.
Listen, the guy had the stone giant shoot the sword into the air and hit the moon, and that somehow affected the board state. It makes no sense. But you know what?
Yeah, but nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense. That's just one of the examples, exactly. But you know what? It didn't matter. Because 7-year-old me was like, holy shit, that's so fucking cool. And that's all that mattered.
You know, yeah, and 25-year-old me was like, this makes zero sense.
Yes.
But it's hysterical,
It
and
is.
Joey is the best.
Joey is the best.
Joey is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's Joey. He's from Brooklyn. And he has a great accent, even though his sister fucking doesn't.
Yeah, I know, right?
His sister doesn't have it. Anyways, yeah, so I watched that, and that was really funny, and we mocked it. So, you know, I'm sure you would have been offended, and, you know, a couple people, like...
No, everybody makes fun of season 1. Absolutely.
So people took drinks every time they called a character daddy.
Oh.
So
basically somebody ended up in the hospital, is what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah, two of the guys had like 4 shots.
Oh,
Eli and I only had 1 shot. So yeah.
Nice.
It was a good time though. I'm actually really enjoying it because it's just funny and goofy, and I'm also getting like a little bit of lore drop because one of the guys that we're watching with, like, we were watching this because one of the you know, I'm currently in a relationship, which is exciting.
That's news.
Weird.
That's news to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's no way we're not talking about this, but continue.
Yeah. So one of her close friends, Rick, loves Yu-Gi-Oh, loves the anime, loves the card game, loves everything about it, is a huge fan, is a huge goofball, and so he was like, he convinced Eli to watch season 1
hold on
with him.
Who is Eli?
Eli is my girlfriend.
Got it. All right, cool. Because you're skipping a few steps here and there. So
sorry,
I had to bring you back to reality a little bit. Riding high on clouds. So,
yeah, Rick convinced Eli to watch Yu-Gi-Oh with him.
Okay.
And then Eli's roommate, Anakin, he shows up to watch this because he's super funny and just enjoys the community of watching weird and cursed anime. And then I joined because I was like, fuck it, whatever, I'm down to watch Yu-Gi-Oh with some fun people. I don't really care about whether or not I enjoy the show. It's not really about the show, it's about the people that I'm with. And it was a great fucking time. We all drank a little. We all made a lot of jokes, and it was
excellent.
It was great.
In my opinion, that is the best way you could have enjoyed season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Anyways, and then Sunday, I wanted to try to record Sunday.
Okay.
But then I ended up realizing, oh shit. So I had a friend who it was her sister's birthday.
Okay.
And so she was arriving at the airport like an hour and a half from where we live. And she wanted to surprise her sister that she was showing up. Mm-hmm. And to do that, they had to have somebody who like wasn't expected to be at the party pick her up. And I haven't really, I've been contacting and communicating with my close friend who now lives out of state every now and then, and we always make time to try to hang out whenever she's back in town. But I hadn't really interacted with the rest of her family in quite a few years. They used to be our neighbors, so we used to be really close, and then they moved, mm-hmm. and a lot of stuff happened, and we just kind of separated out. And we don't really talk so much anymore, but we tried to be there for the birthday. So I got the wonderful job of she texted me being like, yo, can you pick me up from the airport to take me to my sister's birthday party? And I said, absolutely, not realizing that was not only on a Sunday and was going to take up 4 hours of my Sunday, but also not realizing that was on Father's Day. And so I was like, so now I have to find time to record podcasts. And I'm realizing all this like on Saturday night after I like canceled podcast, like, oh shit, because I'd canceled podcast because I wasn't feeling well. I like was feeling not like talking to people at the time. I took like instead of recording the podcast, by the way, I took like a 3-hour nap.
Okay, that's fair.
I napped on like 3 different people's couches that day because I didn't go home because I slept over at at Eli's house actually on Friday to Saturday, and so I just literally slept most of the day on my friends' couches, going between their different apartments. I slept at like 3 different apartments that day. Yeah. Anyways, so then finally I was feeling a little bit better later in the evening, but we'd made plans already to watch Yu-Gi-Oh, so I wanted to do that. And then on Sunday I left at like 2 to go pick up my friend from the airport.
Okay.
I picked up my friend from the airport. We drive back. I don't get back to the house until 7. And I realize I've got to do laundry. I've got to pack my bag. I've got to do everything because also I learned on essentially, I got my tickets on Friday of last week. Wait. I knew I would be going on Monday and Tuesday to Texas.
Okay, to Texas. All right.
So I knew I would be going to Texas on Monday and Tuesday on Wednesday of last week. Yeah. But it kind of didn't connect that meant I would be leaving at like 2 in the fucking morning on Monday morning, aka Sunday night. So I was also like, oh shit. On Sunday, I've got to plan for that trip, pack, prepare, be ready,
all the good stuff,
and also catch my flight while also trying to get at least a little bit of sleep. And
I
was just like, I don't have time for any of this.
I cannot sleep on airplanes. That's just something I cannot do.
I can't either. I'm actually super anxious on airplanes. I will fly. I like flying because I like visiting people. I hate flying on planes. I hate it. I have like mini panic attacks every single fucking time.
I don't stress out that much on airplanes. It's just, for me, it's the seats. Like I always travel in economy because I'm like I can't afford first class. I'm not rich like that.
Neither can I.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. But the seats, it just fucking kills me. If I cannot stretch my legs, I cannot sleep. So, and I travel a lot because I sometimes have to go back home in South America, and that's like an 8-hour flight. So no, I can't do it, man. I could be like dying. Maybe I'll get shut eye 30 minutes, and then I'll just wake up and be like, But no, I cannot do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
probably. The worst flight I ever had, I flew to Hungary.
Okay.
Which is an 18-hour plane flight.
Why did you fly to Hungary?
To visit my brother who lives there.
Ah, okay.
But my God, it was a miserable couple of days because I was catching up on sleep for like a week.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so that was like my Sunday, and then I left. I went to bed at like 10. I woke up at 11:30. I woke up at 11:30, and I was like, all right, it's time to check into my flight to make sure that everything's going to be good, because I realized I hadn't done that because, you know, Saturday, Sunday had been crazy. My plane tickets hadn't been bought until Friday. So anyways, I go to check into my flight at 11:30, right? 3 hours before I'm leaving the house, 5 hours before my plane flight is boarding, 6 hours before my plane flight leaves. And the tickets aren't right.
What?
The tickets are for the 27th and 28th, not for the 20th and the 21st.
How'd that happen?
My boss fucked up.
Oh.
So I called my boss at 11:30 being like, hey, yo, it's my impression I'm leaving this morning. Is that true? And he's like, yeah, that's true. And I'm like, well, then we have a problem because my tickets are wrong. And my plane flight and hotel reservation and rental car aren't until next week. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right. So he checks it. He's like, oh, shit, you're right. So then he gets online, redoes everything.
Oh, no.
Does an entirely new reservation, gets me new tickets at 11:30 at night.
Oh, my God.
And then sends them to me. So I get my new tickets at like 12:30. So I check into my flight. Now I'm supposed to leave in like an hour. I've slept like an hour. I slept from like 9 to 10, woke up, tried to check into my flight. Kind of like slept a little bit because I couldn't do it. And I was too groggy to like really figure it out. Then I figured out what was going on, called my boss, slept another hour, got up, got ready, left, right?
It's getting closer and closer to a Mission Impossible plotline here. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have my tickets. I check in. We're good. Everything's ready to go for my flight there. I'm like, all right, stress relief. I'm ready. Okay. I'm as ready as I'll be with this absolute abysmal lack of planning that we have here. Okay. Get up, go to my plane flight. Okay. Fly to Texas. All right. My plane flight leaves at like 4 a.m.
Okay.
And I get off the flight at like 5 a.m. Texas time. All right. Sorry, not 5, like 9 a.m. Texas time, I think is what it was, or something like that. And then I immediately have to drive 2 hours to the site, or not really. I have to drive like an hour and a half to the site. And I also have to pick up my rental car and get off the flight. So it's like, I get to the rental car at like 9:30. I get to my site that I'm supposed to be working at like 11. I call my boss because I get to the site at like 11. Nobody's there.
Oh, lovely.
I can't start working. And I'm on a deadline, right?
Right.
Because I have to go in like 48 hours. Actually, less than that. Because I have to leave the site at like 2:45 to get my flight.
Man, this man went on an adventure
to make my flight back home. So I'm like, I gotta go. Like, I can't be dilly-dallying, guys. I've only got 2 days here, and I've got a bunch of shit to do. Like, this is not gonna work. So, and we were under the impression, obviously, right, you know, this is a trip that was planned with, what, 4 days notice. So we were under the impression that this is like urgent go.
Okay.
Right? So I'm like, I'm annoyed that they're not here, because it's like, I'm not going to make the deadlines. I'm not going to make my own personal deadlines that I've like prepared. And so I'm getting kind of stressed at this point in time, and I'm like, fuck it. And so I'm on the phone with my boss, and I'm like, Rob, I'm getting into the building. I'm supposed to be here. If the alarm goes off and the police show up and I get arrested in Texas, somebody's gonna come figure that shit out. Okay.
You sound like my D&D. You sound like my D&D party.
Just like I'm getting ready. I can't dilly dally. I've got
my god,
24 hours of work to do in 2 days.
That's hilarious.
I've got less than 72 hours to get it done. And so I'm like, fuck this. So I find a knock door and I just get in and I bring my stuff in and I just get started. And I just start prepping.
That's funny.
And like the guy who's supposed to meet me there gets there like 30 minutes later. I'm already set up and moving. And he's like, oh, wow, like you're ready. And I'm like, dude, I got to leave at 3 tomorrow. I've now got like 24 hours to get this shit done. Or I've got more like 27 hours to get this shit done. And it's just not, happening in the time. So then I'm there and I work at that site and I am there. I got there at 11. I don't leave the site until 10 p.m.
Damn.
Yeah. And then I go and I spend an hour at Walmart buying stuff that I didn't know I would need to prep for day 2.
There's a part 2.
So now I'm at 12 hours on the clock. I get to my hotel and they're having struggles finding my reservation. So I give them the reservation number because it's like 11 and I'm like, dude, I just want to go to fuck to bed. I've got 1 hour of sleep. I worked at 12. I'm fucking done. I am unhinged at this point, right? And so I'm just talking with the guy at the front desk, just like, and I got like myself a Dr. Pepper and some cookies, and then got myself some McDonald's.
In this episode of Talking Into the Void, Cthulhu Unhinged.
I'm just like, and so now I'm just standing. I'm standing in the middle of a reception area, talking to the receptionist at a hotel in the middle of bumfuck Texas, right? Next to a sign that says masks required in public areas, fucking eating a bag of white chocolate chip cookies and drinking a Dr. Pepper, dead-eyed, glassy-eyed, zero thoughts, right? I'm just like, I am so burnt. And the guy is like, I can't find your reservation, but you showed me the email. The reservation is in there, but it's not until next week. But you're here. We have a room. I'm going to bump you up to a king-size suite. No extra charge. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Unfortunately, I'm not going to enjoy it because I'm here for 9 hours or less. And so I get up there, I throw my bag down. I bought a Walmart swimsuit while I was at Walmart.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I'm getting in the hot tub. This hotel has a hot tub. I'm getting in the fucking hot tub. So I get in the hot tub. I vegetate in the hot tub with my waterproof earbuds for like an hour. I go back up to the room. I throw fucking speed runs, Breath of the Wild speed runs on YouTube on the TV. And just fall asleep.
Damn.
And set my alarm because keep in mind, right?
Yeah.
I have to be leaving Texas at 5 p.m. the next day, right? Or 6 p.m. the next day. So it's now like, it's midnight and I'm like, I've got 18 hours to get shit done. Less technically. I've got 18 hours before I have to leave. I've got, 12 plus 3, so I've got 15 hours to get everything done and also sleep. So I set my alarm for 6 a.m. and now I have all the door codes and everything to actually get into the building legally, so I don't have to break any laws.
Well, this time.
So I'm like, all right, I set my alarm for 6. I get up at 6 in the morning. I take a shower. I go out to my car. I try to check out from the hotel, and I'm like in the process of trying to check out, and I'm like ready to go and stressed, and like I bought myself Dr. Pepper for 2 days. So I'd be like ready to go in the morning. So I'm like, I'm already halfway through like a 1 liter of Dr. Pepper, right?
Right.
I'm fucking
You sound like
ready to go for the day.
You sound like 15-year-old me.
Yeah. And the receptionist is like struggling to check me out. And I'm like, dude, you got all the information you need, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, we booked through Expedia. I don't know what's going on with the reservation. It got fucked up somehow. I have an email that says I was supposed to be here these nights. I got a room. I'm fucking out. It's paid for later. And the guy's like, sounds good. So I run to my car. I drive like a maniac through Texas, which, by the way, driving in Texas is a whole other animal. Because first of all, nobody obeys the law.
Okay.
Second of all of the roads are fucking amazing. Like listen, immaculately maintained.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I don't know how they do it. Well, actually, I do know how they do it.
It's
weather.
The only state I've ever been in is New York, so I have no idea what are these mystical, nice roads you speak of.
Have you ever seen an asphalt road that has been bleached paper white by the sun because it's been perfect for so long?
No.
Yeah, neither had I until I drove in Texas, and I was like, I can drive like 90 on these roads, and it feels like I'm going 40 at home. And so I'm just screaming, and I'm also driving like a 2020 Chevrolet Malibu.
I can just picture it.
Fucking sedan.
I can just picture it in my mind. Hold on, I can just picture in my mind this fucking guy just completely like jet lagged, high on Dr. Pepper, on like with like a fucking Walmart swimsuit still on, just going 90s down the road, drinking Dr. Pepper, losing his goddamn mind.
Listening to Spillover by David Quanon, like listening to like an audiobook about people dying. Anyways, which is exactly what I was doing. So you pretty much nailed the exact thing, because I'm not fucking putting on pants to drive in Texas. It's fucking 107 degrees already, right?
I knew it.
Noon yet.
I knew it.
So I am. I actually slept in the swimsuit, took a shower, put the swimsuit back on, and just fucking drove. Anyways, so I get to the site. I dial in, I change into my work pants because, you know, I gotta at least kind of be professional. And I just get going, and I'm just cruising.
Oh my God.
Up to this point, by the way, part of my job was to set up 2 pieces of equipment that hadn't even fucking arrived.
Okay.
They hadn't even been shipped. So they don't arrive until fucking 2 that day. So I had like an hour to set them up, or 1. So I had like 2 hours to set them up. So I'm just going, and I got everything set, and then the guy who's supposed to meet me at Best Buy calls me because we got to buy equipment because it hadn't arrived and I'm like, I'm not leaving you guys without the equipment, so we're just gonna buy it at Best Buy, and then I'll just pack the extra equipment in my bag when it arrives, or you can ship it back to us or whatever. We'll figure something out. So we go to Best Buy, we buy a bunch of shit, we go back to the office, I set up a bunch of shit. The plotter and printer arrive. I set up a plotter and printer on the network, fully functional, in less than an hour, including putting the plotter together. All right.
Okay.
I get everything set. It's 2, and everything's done. And I'm like, I'm fucking ahead of schedule. I'm too good at my job, and I'm mad about it.
It's the Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, it's the Dr. Pepper and the lack of sleep.
Yeah.
But what I realize is I'm too good at my job. And it's a problem because it means that my bosses can throw me into situations with 0 planning, and eventually
just lie. Just lie. Just tell them it was the worst thing you've ever done, and that you suffered a lot, and that you are gonna reconsider a different job opportunity in the future if this continues. Yeah. Like seriously, never tell your boss that you're having too much of an easy time ever.
Oh no, I did not. I definitely wasn't like, oh yeah, it was easy. I was like, it was terrible and exhausting, but I got it done. Anyways, so I got everything done. It's 2, and here's the worst part about Texas. All right.
Okay, I'm listening.
I go to pack up my bag to throw it in the car, to then just like veg out for an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are ants in a line from the wall to my fucking bag, which is where I got the Texas experience, to my knowledge, which is I spent 45 minutes using wet paper towels to clean ants out of my goddamn backpack.
I have heard of these famous fire ants dilemma.
They're not fire ants, thankfully. These weren't the nasty kind of ants. These were just annoying little black ants, but they were just infested everywhere, and I cleaned like about 200 of them out of my bag, and it was fucking awful. I was mad.
Oh my god. Well.
And so, yeah. I did find fire ants, but I didn't fuck with them because I'm smarter than that now. Mm-hmm. But we also actually have fire ants here where I live.
And but they know not to touch the cursed man, so yeah.
Yeah. So I committed ant genocide. I fucking murdered the shit out of a bunch of them and cleaned out all my shit. And then it was like 2:45 and I was like, all right, I'm out of here. I threw my shit in my box. I sent an email to my boss saying that I was out, and I fucking went to the airport and flew back home. And then I got to the airport. I got through security, which I'm going to be honest, Dallas Fort Worth security fucking terrifies me.
How so?
It is not good. It's not good.
Can you elaborate on that?
It should be better. We'll say I flew back with a full, like, not like electric screw, but hand screwdriver kit, no questions asked, in my carry-on.
Okay.
Like something stab worthy in my carry-on, and I bet I probably could have gotten away with more. And
listen, the only place in the world where they care about security like that really is just the U.S. Like that's it, man. If you fly anywhere else, like put your shit there, whatever. What's that? It's like a knife, two knife, whatever. It's just two knives. Just keep going, man.
Right.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Like flying everywhere else in the world is whatever, but like you're flying in the U.S., no, you have to go through everything. You have to go through the cancer scanners. You have to go through
I had to go through like the hands up scanner at the airport that I left from. But at DFW, I just walked through a little metal detector, and they were like, "You're good, go, bye, get the fuck out of here."
Yep. See ya.
Anyways, so then I get to my flight, and I'm sitting there, and it's like I'm like 30 minutes early because I like to be, when I'm catching a plane flight, early is on time. I need time to like emotionally and spiritually prepare myself to be in a tiny tin can rocketing through the sky, trapped with 300 other people who all also don't want to be there, right? So I'm like I have to prepare myself. So 30 minutes is on time for me. 30 minutes early is on time for me when it comes to plane flights. So I'm sitting there like, all right, cool, we're ready. And then the boarding time comes around, and I'm like, all right, we're not boarding. All right, whatever. And it was only 30 minutes early, so I assumed that they already deboarded the plane.
That's a big no.
20 minutes after our plane flight was supposed to start boarding, they're deboarding the plane.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, really? Okay. So then the deboards for like an hour, right?
Right.
And everybody gets off the plane, and then they have to clean the plane, so they clean the plane. And then I board the plane. I'm in like priority boarding because I paid for that shit, because I'm not fucking waiting around for dumbasses. So I paid for priority boarding so that I could get to my seat, because I'm sitting way back in the back, because I always do that with planes. Shove me in the back. I'll deal with my own problems. The flight attendants can fucking care about everybody else, and I'll just huddle under my blanket and anxious. Anyways, so I get into my seat, and now I'm like, all right, like now this is the time where our plane was supposed to be like taking off, and we're still boarding the plane.
Yeah, that happens
so
sometimes.
I'm like, oh, we're gonna be so late. So I text, because, you know, it's been like we're going to be like an hour late leaving, right? So we're going to be like an hour late getting to the airport. Luckily, I had my car at the airport because I just left my car at the airport because I was like, fuck it. I'm not dealing with rides or anything like that. My boss can reimburse me for parking. Anyways, so I'm sitting there. Yeah, waiting for everybody to get. So we get on the plane, we take off, right?
Right.
And so we're already an hour late. We arrive at the airport. Okay, we land. Everything is normal on landing. Then we get to the dock, right?
Right.
And they're trying to get us to deboard, and the pilot gets on the intercom and is like, they're having problems connecting up the ground power unit. And I was like, huh, that's a new one.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
And
you know it's bullshit when the pilot is like the one who has to tell you what is it that they're doing wrong.
Yeah. So he's like, they're having trouble connecting up the ground power unit. I'm like, huh, that's a new one.
That's a new one because you know that the pilot's also confused. He's like, what the fuck's going on, guys? And he probably had to actually go contract ground control and be like, what the fuck is this?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
And then the guy at the fucking tower probably was like, oh, they're having trouble connecting this and that. I'm like, I'm gonna tell.
So the engines are still on.
Okay.
So we're sitting basically in a jet idling, right, on the tarmac for like 20 minutes. And then he's like, we're not allowed to deboard with the engines on. So we have to wait for them to connect up the ground power. And I'm like, the fuck, why? I'm just confused. And then I realized why. When the pilot, 20 minutes after that, the pilots go, all right, we're about to be out of fuel, so I got to turn the engines off. Turns the engines off, no lights in the cabin.
Yeah.
No ventilation. No air conditioning in the plane.
Oh,
right?
Man.
And then the pilot, you know, can't give us any more information because there's no power to the plane.
Hey,
so then finally...
Just lower the windows real quick.
Yeah. Well, actually, the flight attendant pops the back door and the front door so that there's some ventilation in the plane, and it's nighttime, so it's not like scalding outside.
Okay.
Anyways, because, you know, at this point it's like 9 p.m., right? And so we're sitting there in the dark in this plane, and people are starting to get, you know, antsy. People have gotten out of their seats to like deboard, and it's been like an hour at this point that they've just been standing there, like, and now they're like starting to sit back down. Finally, the flight attendant's like, all right, we're gonna get some flashlights and we're gonna deboard. And so I'm last, right, because I'm at the very back of the plane, so I'm just like chilling there with my headphones on, just ignoring everything.
Nice priority seating.
Yeah,
you played yourself.
And so, well, like, I like that. I'll deboard the plane last. I don't care about that. I'm patient. I'll wait. I would rather deboard the plane last and not have to deal with a bunch of morons and just be patient about it than trying to deboard the plane with all of the other fucks, right? That's my personal opinion. I want to be either absolute first, which means I'm in first class, which I don't afford, or absolutely last, so I don't have to deal with anybody but myself, and it's fine. So I get up there, and there's like 2 people behind me, right? Because there was, you know, or 3 people behind me because there were 3 people in the last 4 seats. And so I get up there, and I kind of like stand off to the side because the pilot's standing in the entryway, right?
Right.
And I'm like, so why? I'm just curious. Why can't we deboard without power? And why doesn't the plane have power? Because shouldn't there be? Because I'd done some Googling. Because I inform myself before asking stupid questions. And the answer was a plane is supposed to have an APU, an auxiliary power unit.
Yeah, but that's for emergencies.
This one, yeah. Well, no, the auxiliary power unit is what's supposed to power the plane during boarding and deboarding.
Ah, okay.
But apparently the auxiliary power was broken. Like, so what's going on with the auxiliary power? And the pilot's like, well, the auxiliary power is broken. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And they can't connect up the ground power because something's messed up with the connection. So I'm like, okay, so why can't we deboard without power? And he's like, really? In reality, it's just safety concern because of the lights and you can't see where you're walking. And I'm like, that's it?
Yeah. But you have to understand that, when it comes to people getting hurt because they're idiots, the companies are going to do anything they can do in their power to not get sued. So that's why. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with safety. It has everything to do with some pasty white Karen trying to sue the company because the room was too dark.
I wouldn't be 2 hours late getting out of the airport if I didn't live in America.
Correct.
They would have just been like, we don't have power, everybody off the fucking plane.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's my travel story. And then I drove home and everything was fine.
Lovely.
It was all good. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so that is the long story, the long version of why the podcast didn't happen last week. And then after that, I worked 45 hours.
How many times?
How many times have I been on a plane? Question from Index Store in the chat. Just to plug real quick for the podcast listeners, you can catch us live every other week on Holic25, twitch.tv/Holic25.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
That we're not live on twitch.tv/Holic25. We're live on twitch.tv/Cthulhu Tilly, unless of course Cthulhu Tilly or Holic has a fucking insane story,
an adventure in Texas or something. Yeah.
An adventure. Anyways, I have been on probably about, including two-way, so like there and back, probably about 30 flights in my life, I think.
All right.
Probably about that.
All right, Tully. Excellent. Now shut the fuck up because you've been talking for the past 45 minutes nonstop. So to answer Index's question, I've been on a plane. Let's count. So twice when I went to New York for the first time. Then twice when I went from New York to Miami and from Miami to New York. Then back home. So that's 4 so far, right? Yeah. Then another 2 for New York. Another 2 when I went to Panama. So we are now at 8. Then I went to New York, night. Went back to Ecuador, 10. Back to New York, 11. So I've been 11 times. 11 times I've been. Oh no! Oh shit! I totally forgot all the times I went to visit my previous girlfriend. So it's 11 plus all the times that I went to visit her, which was 4 times. So it's 19. 19. I've been 19 times in an airplane, and they all fucking sucked. I hate flying. I used to like flying. I used to think, oh, cool, we're gonna go check out the sky, go see the tiny humans. I love taking off and I love landing. It's my favorite times. But boy, do I fucking hate everything in between. Fuck that shit. Being stuck in a very uncomfortable seat for hours on end, it's gonna be the worst possible thing. Which brings me to JetBlue. Tully.
Oh no.
No, it's not a bad story. Tully, what airline do you fly in when you fly domestic?
Domestic.
Yeah, when you fly domestic.
American or Frontier.
I see. So
yeah.
Listen, next time. Oh, well, you do have panic attacks, so I don't know how effective this is. But ever since I discovered this little fact, I've only flown JetBlue. The reason being, JetBlue actually has functioning Wi-Fi in their domestic flights. So that was a game changer for me. When I discovered that shit, that's a game changer for me. A 4-hour flight, fucking nothing. That's like 10 matches of Hearthstone in my phone. Easy. And they even have phone chargers too now. Like every fucking plane has a phone charger. But like,
yeah.
Now if I fly domestic, I have to fly JetBlue because again, the only fucking airline that actually has functioning Wi-Fi. You know how all the other airlines, they will have like, oh, we have our internet / this thing where you can watch movies in our network inside the airplane. That's fucking bullshit. This is not actual proper internet connection, but JetBlue does have it, and that saves flying for me so much, because I can just play Yu-Gi-Oh on my phone, play Hearthstone on my phone, and just forget about everything that's going on around me.
See, I don't know if, I'll see. I don't think JetBlue flies out of the airport that I have to fly out of.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, it depends on the airport, because they don't stop on every airport, right?
Yeah, because I think, and I'll low-key dox myself. I fly out of DIA, and DIA kind of has limited. That's why I fly American and Frontier, is because American and Frontier fly out of DIA a lot, and so does Southwest. So I've flown. Okay, so
all the sus airlines stop at that airport. It says a lot.
Yeah.
About and how in the middle of nowhere you are.
It's also, and here's an interesting thing. One thing that's interesting about it is a lot of airlines don't have. They're actually, it's not super limited, but there are Airbuses that are not allowed to land at DIA because of the elevation.
Okay.
Because the air is thinner and they're not set up to land at such a high elevation, because DIA is like at a mile high. And so because of that, it's actually kind of limited. It's really interesting. Let's see.
So before you go on another rant real quick, before we start talking about other stuff, I just want to make a quick announcement. I would have liked doing that when we had like actual people here, but I guess I'll do it now. I commissioned an artist for channel emotes for my channel now. Yeah. And I just uploaded the first one that he sent me just before the stream. So I've been keeping an eye out, trying to see when I do get, because it needs approval, right? Like when you upload an emote, then Twitch is like, oh, we're gonna approve it because we want to make sure you're not uploading anything sus. But oh my god, I'm so hyped! I can't wait. Yeah. I spent all of Thursday afternoon looking up artists that I could commission for emotes that wouldn't ask for $50 an emote. It was a lot harder than it sounds. Now, hold on.
Right.
Hold up. Now, if you're out, why you bunk me? Now, if you are a young content creator, right, who's just starting out on Twitch or whatever streaming platform you are, you don't have to spend $30 to $50 per emote. There are websites like Fiverr where you can get bundles of emotes to use in your channel, and you get you pay like $5 to $15. You get like 20 emotes. But what's the problem is that I wanted custom emotes, so I had to pay the extra premium. But I did find one. I found an artist that speaks Spanish too, whose art was really fucking cool. Like I was looking at it, and it's like all like 90s comics and superheroes and anime drawings, and it's all fucking sick. And I was talking to this guy, and I was like, "Hey, are you open for commissions?" And he's like super informal, right? Like he's just on his Twitch channel. He's just like, and I'll shut him up here when I get the chance. He's like super chill. He's like hanging out with his friend, talking about whatever business he's going in, and just like cursing and talking shit in Spanish. It was great. And I'm like, hey, do you take commissions? And he was like, kind of, yes. It was like the most sus conversation I've had with an artist about like commissioning for emotes. So we went back and forth a little bit, and he actually gave me a really nice price for it.
Nice.
And I'm like, I almost felt bad because I kept looking at other artists, right? This guy was like the 11th artist that I have been going through. Right? And I'm like, his prices were cheap. and his art is really good. And I'm like, if I were to compare this to like these other artists, this man should be asking for like twice for what he is. And I felt really bad, but I'm like, shit, man. If he wants to do it, I'll take it. And I did throw him like a big tip at the end too when the payment went through.
Well, that is how they make money.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'll get to it in a second. But because there's more I want to talk about when it comes to commissioning art.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Shit, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I commissioned 5 emotes for my channel. 4 static emotes and 1 animated emote, and I cannot fucking wait. I hope I get them. He says he's gonna. Oh my god, he's so crazy. He says he's gonna get them done in 3 days, and I'm like, what? Yeah, it's like 3 days, and then I sent him the reference materials yesterday, and then he sent me the finished line art today morning. And I'm like, what the fuck? Holy shit, this guy's working fast. Probably because he doesn't have any other commissions going on, which is why I want to shout him out. So I am super excited. I'm looking that up right now.
Twitch?
Yes, it's just that's why I'm like going back and forth a little.
His Twitch. I'll go get commissions from him too if he's open for it.
The problem is
I'll get some
you need
Cthulhu-y commissions.
Let me
maybe after the Connecticut trip, because I had to put tires on my car today, on my new car, because the tires that were on it were kind of old, which turned a $10,000 car into an $11,000 car.
Oh, nice. Gotta love that. Yeah. Okay, Tulia, I sent you the link on here.
Okay.
Now I'm not gonna mention prices because it could be considered rude to talk prices about an artist when they're not public about it. Sure, if they have a commissions page, they do. But for those who don't know, I'm putting it in my chat right now. The guy is called Moreno Artists. So that's twitch.tv/MORENO artist. One word. Really.
You could totally.
Really sick art.
Do that. Index, by the way, just letting you know. Anyways,
really sick art.
I'll have to check him out.
He has an Instagram and a Twitter and everything. So please go check him out. Go commission him if you want to. He does some really, really quality stuff. I'm serious, dude. I was like on my 12th, 11th artist at that point, and I'm looking at a bunch of artists too, and I'm like, okay, this guy, he's. The price is okay, but I don't like his art style. And I'm like, okay, I like this guy's art style, but he's super expensive, And then I found this guy, and he's talking Spanish, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna say hi. And I chose the first thing I do, it's not go, hey, are you taking commissions? No, it's like I go to their about page, and I go to their Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and I start like looking up if I like their art or not before I even talk to them, right? And I was like, yo, this guy's sick. This guy's sick, man. What the hell? How does he only have like 1,700 followers? This is crazy. And I'm like, all right. I contacted him at the end, and I'm like, yeah, we could do this for this price. And I'm like, huh? That's the best price I've gotten all day. And, I'm like, okay, we're doing this right now because there's no way I'm backing out from this. Right? So I upgraded I told him what I wanted. I wanted 5 emotes because I can only have 5 emotes right now. There's no point in me asking for more. But if I get more emotes unlocked, I'm commissioning this man again for sure. He is so cool. Right. Well, now moving on to my next thing is the other reason is that I was looking for artists to commission. Is because I'm going to take the big step and I'm going to commission a live 2D model for myself. I feel like I'm not super happy with my current VTuber model, and it was never the point of this model was never to like be the end all be all model for me. It was more like a proof of concept. What's the word? Proof of
Proof of concept.
Concept, yes, thank you. It was more of a proof of concept to see if I would like stick to my schedule, figure out this whole B-tubing thing, and see if I would like it and actually enjoy it. And now that I've spent a good 2 to 3 months actually streaming and knowing that I actually want to do this, I'm gonna take that big step and I'm gonna commission an artist. So that's what I've been doing. But man, commissioning an artist for a model is very tough unless you happen to know people, unless you have those connections. It is very very difficult because not only you have to find an artist that you like, but you have to find an artist that you like that is willing to draw what you want too. Because I found an artist that I wanted, and I was like, okay, for this price, sure, because the art is fucking mind-blowing. But then I contacted the artist, and the artist was like, yeah, no, I don't do male models. I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
And I cannot blame her. I cannot say shit because it's their art. They do whatever they want to do, and whatever they don't want to do is their business. So I gotta keep looking. I keep looking, and I'm like, okay, I found this guy, but he's asking for a down payment on a car for a VTuber model, so I can't do that. And I found this guy over here. Okay, the price is reasonable, but the art style is not what I'm looking for. And then I find another one. I was like, okay, cool. The price is a little high, but I could do it. And then it's like, oh no, I don't do male models either. I'm like, So I've been on the hunt for that artist that I like, that has a reasonable price, that is willing to work on what I want, which apparently is fucking difficult. So
Yeah, I always think it's interesting. I guess I've always been lucky because I somehow wheedle my way into artist communities without being an artist consistently.
I noticed that. I
don't know why. Maybe it's because...
And that is why I am talking to you today, Mr. Tilly. You need to help me because I am at my wits, and I have 2 artists who are like, let me think about that. I'll get back to you on that. And it's been more than 48 hours, and I'm just let me know if I need to keep looking for shit or not. But if you know anybody who's willing to do it for less than a car payment or a kidney, tell me. Just tell me. I don't care if I'll take a look at the art later, but just fucking tell me, man.
A lot of the artists that I know, unfortunately, are pretty amateur and honestly probably couldn't do much better than what you did. But I can look around and ask around and see who's open for commissions right now and see if anybody would be willing to do something. But it's interesting. Because like I guess it stems from the tapas side of things, where it's like I was really embroiled in an artist community, and so I kind of learned how to talk with artists about what they do. Even though I'm like, I don't know what to do.
I
don't know how to do 3D modeling.
That's the other thing. It's like, if you've never tried talking to an artist before, it's difficult. They are special beasts. No, I'm generalizing here, but they are their own special type of people that require a lot of care when talking to, for sure. Can you get a Discord sneak peek at the emotes later? I think they might be uploaded soon. I'm not sure. But what I'm trying to say is, in defense of the artist, if you're an artist, you have all the right in the world to say no, right?
Yeah.
And also, in their defense too, a VTuber model, a live 2D like full body model, that's a shit ton of work. We're talking about 50 plus hours of work. So it is. I understand. It's 100% understandable that some of them, if not most of them, turn me down. Like I get it.
Yeah.
And even the people who are willing to go through, the crazy amount of effort that it takes to create a live 2D model, even those people, they're mostly taken because their commissions are closed. They're like, no, man, I have way too many models to be. I have to close my commissions. I physically cannot.
37 commissions in the queue, and all of them are pestering me once every 24 hours yo, how's my commission going?
Oh yeah, no, I learned that shit. Back in 2015, I was playing Blade and Soul, and I had a friend who was an artist, and I commissioned that. Right. I commissioned her to just do me a full body drawing of my Blade and Soul character. And yeah, we're not friends anymore after that.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was being unreasonable when I asked why the drawing was literally a week late, but apparently it was a mistake of me to ask such a question.
Yes.
Which led to the eventual not us being friends anymore.
Yeah.
So I've learned that when I talk about an artist to an artist, not only because of that incident, but because I've literally dated an artist too, you need to be very careful with the vocabulary and the mannerism and everything. It's almost like hunting in a sense, where you have to be very careful and tactful when dealing with some artists.
Yeah, and that's funny because now I can actually say this to Index, because I'm getting a commission for Index right now, for a VTuber model, and it's one of those things where it's like
it's difficult.
It's slow.
It's a very absolutely. It's a slow process.
It's a slow process, and also like another thing is that we're talking about a creative
person,
right?
A very
this isn't something where it's like you can just sit down and grind it out.
And not only that, but
you're kind of inspired for it.
Not only that, but you have to be careful. Like as an artist, you have to be careful too. Is because you put out a VTuber model, and guess what? That model is gonna be your portfolio. In a type of portfolio that you can't really control anymore, in a sense.
Yeah.
So like, you just have to be careful.
Yeah.
If you're an aspiring artist and you're a great you get a drawing, your art is amazing, people love you. You still have to be just fucking careful when you take a big commission, like making a VTuber model.
Yeah. Yes.
That shit is going to be shit's going to be your image for a while.
Yeah.
So it puts a lot of pressure. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. There's also tacked onto that is like people are constantly pestering them, and they always use people especially in the I'll say the capitalistic economy, and it's not like even the people who don't believe in it really are still like annoying to deal with, because they're like, what do you want to how's this coming, like when is it going to be done, and constantly pestering. So it's like usually I will message them once a week, and for their lack of stress I usually say there's no deadline. There's no time.
Yeah, I've learned that
I'm going
one.
to say this has to be done by, because
I have learned that.
I know we both know that whatever deadline I set,
it's not gonna be met.
Complete it.
Yeah, it's not gonna be met. I learned that one real fucking quick, guys. You're commissioning an artist unless they're a very very professional artist, and you can tell right away when you're dealing with someone who is fucking serious about their deadlines. So you know which people this applies to and which don't. So you know right away. If you don't know immediately that this person is 110% serious about deadlines, then guess what? Don't talk about deadlines. Just suck it up and and understand that you are better off just being as patient as humanly possible. And again, especially with a big project like a live 2D model or any VTuber model of the sort, it's best to go into the whole situation knowing that if you're not willing to spend literal thousands of dollars on a really really professional well-known artist, well, guess what? You better not expect this model until next year. You have to go in with the lowest of expectations. and again, in defense of the artists, it's a lot to do with just the sheer amount of manpower and hours that have to go into making a model from scratch. That shit is tough.
Almost every, like, unless you're preparing to put down a down payment on a car, your artist is underpaid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the thing I wanted to talk to, that I mentioned earlier, that I wanted to talk about now, is that I was talking to one of my viewers the other day, and I was telling him, hey, actually, I've been thinking about, I'm gonna commission a new VTuber model, and he's like, yeah, really? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm gonna be spending north of like $1,000 for it, and he's like, what? That's so expensive. And I'm like, listen, I had to stop him. I had to stop the stream and be like, all right, hear me out, because I know that you're just some random kid who has zero concept of just how fucking difficult this is. So I had to explain to him and be like, let's talk about how much a professional costs per hour. Let's not even talk about art. Let's talk about an engineer, right? Hey, let's say you want to hire an engineer per hour. How much do you think that costs? I asked that person. And of course, he's just a college student. He has no fucking clue. So he goes, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to give you an example. Let me fucking lowball you. I'm going to tell you that it's going to cost you $30 an hour. And that's lowball for a fucking professional,
Yeah.
So, but let's make it easy. A nice round number, $30 an hour. How many hours do you think it takes to create a live 2D model? I asked that person. I was like, obviously, rhetorical question. I know you don't know. So I was like, if they're really, really, really fucking good, and their only focus is currently that specific model, and there's literally nothing else that they're working on, and there's nothing else going on in their life, and they're really fucking fast, in those ideal scenarios, it would take them maybe around 30 hours. Right? Around 30 hours. And again, we're talking about best case scenario. This is an unreasonable example, but I'm doing it just to explain to him why it's so fucking expensive. So now let's take this unreasonable example and this rate that I gave you, that is also fucking cheap, and be like, what's 30 times 30? It's easy. It's 3 times 3 times 100, which is 900. So we $900. Just that. On ideal scenarios. But guess what? Reality is not like that. Shit is difficult to do. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of pressure going on the artists' lives. They already are struggling to even feed themselves, let alone pay for their gas or their rent and shit like that. $900 would be a steal for a VTuber model. It would be a fucking steal. But, but guess what? Hold on, I'm about to finish. And then it's like, more realistically, an artist might take anywhere north of 50 hours to finish a model. And now we're not talking about $900 anymore. Guess what? We're talking about $1,500. And $30 an hour, that's fucking cheap. Again, like Index is mentioning in chat, a hairdresser is like $60 an hour. So why don't we double that then?
Yeah, or like I was gonna mention, I am currently billed out as a network professional at $100 an hour.
Yeah, look at this man. He's Tully is worth $100 an hour, and he's just doing networks. Like I'm sorry, Tully, I love you, but that's just whatever. That's just technical stuff. That's not creating art. That is not a transcendental piece of work that you're making. He's just fucking pushing keyboards. He's keyboard keys like 24/7.
When I wrote for a living, I was billed out much higher than that.
Yeah, just continue my rant here. It's like what Tully does. He's not putting his soul into it. He's not. When he fucking turns a computer on, he's not putting a piece of himself into this machine.
No.
But guess what? When an artist sits down and tries to make a VTuber model, that's exactly what you're asking of them.
Yeah.
So guess what?
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be expensive. Yes, it's going to be difficult. Yes, it's going to take fucking forever. And yes, it's going to cost a down payment on a car. But that's just how it is. That's just the nature of it. So that's what I'm going through right now, and that's what my week has been so far. I'm looking for somebody to commission for a VTuber model.
That is stressful. Yeah, I chatted with a friend, and I know that she's overwhelmed right now, so I can't recommend her for your VTube model, because she is very overwhelmed right now with commissions. Which is partially
just link her to me anyway.
She's undervaluing her own work.
Yeah, that's another classic.
You're gonna get a lot of people who are bitchy.
Yeah,
you should ask for more money, because people who pay $500 for a VTuber model are actually probably less bitchy than the people who pay what she's asking for. So yeah.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah. But she also doesn't do like live 2D. She does V-Roid models.
V-Roid models, yeah. Yeah.
So that's another reason.
V-Roid models take a lot less effort because there's a lot of pre-made assets down,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't want to. I don't want a 3D. I don't want a 3D model anymore. I want a live 2D model. I like the art style of live 2D.
Yeah.
Over what 3D can really offer me.
Yeah. Very fair. Very fair. Gosh. Are you what software are you gonna end up running then?
I'll figure it out when I get the model.
Okay.
Because it's not there's no point on figuring out the software until I get my hands on the model to begin with. Because in order to save myself, like $900, I'm just gonna sit down and do the rigging myself.
Yeah, because I also happen to know that the software also for a lot of them. So like, for example, Live 2D Cubism, which is one of those softwares,
the more common one, or popular one,
is like this is in yen. Let's see if I can get this converted, because it's like a yearly thing. So it costs yearly. It costs like $60 a year. So I guess that's not that bad.
That's not that bad. Yeah, that's not that bad.
Yeah, $8 a month, so like almost $100 a year, I guess.
Yeah. I'm paying more for XSplit right now than that.
Yeah, right.
Just so that there's no watermark on your stream. You guys are fucking welcome, by the way. You don't have to see an ugly watermark on my stream, because I'm paying for it.
I just use OBS.
Yeah.
Studio.
Yeah, I know. I'm probably gonna swap to OBS. I'm just being an old angry man yelling at clouds.
Yeah, it's better. Anyways,
it is. I'm done with XSplit.
So in the past 2 weeks, what else has gone on with you? What have you been up to?
I finished my driving course.
Nice.
I spent. Fun fact: I spent $1,500 on said driving course, but as a result, I am no longer afraid to get inside a car behind the wheel.
That's good.
I'm
very proud of you.
I am proud of me too, man. I was scared to death about getting into a car, which is one of the reasons why I didn't want to really get my mom to teach me how to drive, because she could get very nervous too, and I knew she would be a shit teacher. No, all respects to her, but she cannot teach me to save her life. I mean, I've seen her try to teach me math and English. It's just not gonna work. And my dad drives like he's on a Formula 1 car 24/7, so I don't want to learn from him either. So I knew that my only option was I'm gonna get into a driving course. But again, as a result, I can now drive to the store without killing anyone or myself. So I call that a win. Actually, as a matter of fact, today I drove to the store. Of course, I still need somebody with a driver's license next to me until I pass the exam. But I didn't die. Nobody. And this time, nobody honked at me.
Hell yeah!
Nailed it, dude. Fucking nailed
it.
I almost had to honk at someone. It was the other way around.
And you're in New York. You should have honked at him. You're in New York.
No, well, to be fair, I'm not in Queens. I'm not in Manhattan. So
you're in New York. It has the stereotype.
Oh my god!
I honked at a couple people in Texas because I was like, "Don't fucking Describe that, please. Fucking moron.
I do have a bad habit, and that's when I turn my turn lights on or off. I accidentally turn my headlights on all the time. I do it like every other time I get inside the car.
Yeah, that is something that's just like those switches are weird.
They are weird.
I did that a couple of times when I got my new car, and I did that a couple of times in the rental because it's just like everything takes a little bit different type of pressure.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
oh my god, that's the other thing. The car that I'm learning on, the accelerator, it's like you barely touch it, and the car goes fucking flying. But my mom's,
that's what I like.
My mom's cars, they're very different. They're like, oh, they're nice. There's a good chunk of pressure to the accelerator, so you can actually feel when you're accelerating. But no, man, when I'm in the driving course, I literally cannot wear shoes. I have to go with sandals because otherwise I cannot feel the accelerator.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Oh man.
I think right now in my car, my 0 to 60 is like 12 seconds.
Oh. I don't know what that means, but it sounds fast.
I go 0 to 60 in 12 seconds, but I haven't really tried that hard.
The fastest I've driven so far is 50, so I've not gotten past 50.
Right.
And that's when we're going.
I drive fast. So.
All right.
It's a thing.
My driving test is gonna be Monday, and I was
Nice.
mentioning to some friends. That if I pass the test first try, I'm gonna be the only one on my generation who actually passed their driving test on the first try. So I hope I get to do that, to have like those bragging rights. But in all reality, I'll probably fail the first time for sure. Because I still like, I need more practice with my turns. But especially my left turns, I can feel like I need more practice. Your 0 to 60 is 10 seconds. Oh no, this guy's needs to relax.
I might be under that, but I haven't measured it since I like first got my car. I was also when I was doing 0 to 60 tests, I was driving manually just for fun because my car can switch between, which is a fun thing to do.
Oh, so you have like a hybrid transmission?
Yeah, I feel like let's see here. I need to pull up the app on my phone because I have an app that connects to my car. And so oh yeah, okay. So the most recent 0 to 60 that I had when I tried was 8.5.
Okay. Still don't know what any of that means, so I hope I never get to step on it because just that still terrifies me a little.
Race cars. Just race cars.
Listen, I just want to get inside my car and not die, and just get to where I want to go without dying. That's the goal for me.
The record for my mom. Oh no, that's 2004. Where's my? I'm like, that can't be right. Okay, hold on a second. Nope. Yep. Okay. So the record for mine is, or not record, but the benchmark for mine is 7.5. So wow, I'm pretty much hitting benchmark. Okay.
Oh.
I need to get a little better, and then I'll beat benchmark, and I'll be happy about that. Anyways. Cool. Well, I hope that your test goes well on Monday. That'll be exciting. I hope that you don't fail it. I hope that you pass.
Me too, because I am done with this business. Next, when I when I am done with this whole learning how to drive thing, well, I can actually get started now that my lessons are over. I want to make a little Twitch RPG for my chat. I'm planning, and I have it on my whiteboard right now. I'm actually designing it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make a Twitch integration, like a Twitch bot that lets my viewers have a little RPG in chat. So back in the 2000s, back when I would still just play like HTML games, I stumbled across what is known as web RPGs. What a web RPG is that's what I call them. I don't know what the official term is. It's just a text RPG that's on a website.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would just log in, and it would be very similar to. I think these are technically the predecessors to gacha games. And it's just like you would log in, you would create a character, and then you would through some basic UI and some basic like chat and text stuff. You create a character, level it up, go train. You like every 24 hours you have like an energy bar, and then you have to spend your energy bar to get your character to level up and shit. And I would play that stuff all the time. Think what was the other one? That's the other big one is Clan Wars, I think. All those gacha games that are like city building or RPG stuff, like Raid Shadow Legends, all that shit had its beginnings as text RPGs in websites with either HTML and or JavaScript. And that's what you would play in. And I kind of want that, but I want it to just be text, like pure plain text onto my chat. So if a viewer comes in, they would just type a command, like exclamation point, choose class, or choose a class. And then like I'll have my bot be like, awesome. I have like my bot be like, okay, this dungeon is gonna be available. Type /raid or /join to bring your character in and see and stuff like that. So that's what I want. That's gonna be my my thing to like get back into coding, because honestly, for the past 2 years, I have not coded at all. I have not done anything with coding. So outside of like some little business thing that I tried that didn't turn out very well. So I need to build my portfolio, right? Because I need to get a job. Yeah. And I would like to not work at a bank anymore, because fuck that shit. That shit's so stressful.
True.
And yeah, that's my goal for the week. Is get that started.
That'll be a good goal. I'm excited to see it. I'll play it while we do our podcast.
Yeah. Have a bunch of random people just come in, just like, fuck these VTuber dudes. I just want to level up my archer. It's just
fair, I'm here for it.
That would be fun.
But yeah.
Apparently, I have to learn Node.js though. I have to learn JavaScript.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, you have to learn Node.js to do stuff like that.
Yeah,
for Twitch.
So that's gonna be fun. But if I was able to learn C and C++, I think I got Node.js.
Yeah, but when you start doing math in Node.js, you'll want to shoot yourself.
No, I've heard the horror stories. I've seen them. I am an avid browser of R programming humor. So
yeah,
I think I know I know what I'm getting myself into, but hey, I don't know any other better choice. So that's what I'm going to be working on. Hey, did you know that Java runs on 3 billion devices?
Yeah, I did know that actually.
Actually, you didn't, because now it's 4 billion devices. They actually updated that logo recently.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed.
Yeah, they did. After 20 years, they updated that little logo of theirs. So now JavaScript, ever since 2022, now runs on 4 billion devices. Not just 3 billion, just 4 billion. The more you know. So...
yeah.
What are you up to now, Tully? You look a little concentrated there.
I'm tired. I'm looking up a specific meme that is if programming languages were essays.
Oh, I've seen that. I know.
It's on r/programming, but I want to find, because I feel like I found one for JavaScript at one point.
That shit cracks me up. I love those memes, man. I sent you one to your Discord the other day. The one about forgetting how your program works.
Yes, yeah, I sent that to a bunch of other people. Yeah, because like there's Java, but that's for Java, not JavaScript. I feel like for JavaScript, if programming language essays, it should be like I asked you for an essay,
and you gave me like a potted plant.
Yeah.
I see.
No, that's for HTML.
Oh, that's HTML, right.
HTML this is a flower pot.
Yeah, HTML is not a programming language.
Yeah, I also like Java's. This is plagiarism. You can't just import essay.
No, isn't that Python?
True. Yeah, that's for Python.
Okay.
The Perl is an essay has to consist of more than just punctuation. True.
All right, Tully. Well, if you're feeling really tired, we can call the stream here. We did a solid hour and a half or so.
Yeah, we did. But you said we were going to talk about it. Did you want to ask about my dating life? Or you?
Yes.
To share with the world.
I totally forgot. Sorry, we went on that.
You're fine.
We went on that traveling rant, and honestly, halfway through it, I wanted to tell you to shut the fuck up, but I was too invested in the narrative.
Yeah.
So I just went with it. So
I've had it in the back of my mind. Mm-hmm. So what do you want me to tell the world?
Okay,
have,
first
2 questions probably.
Oh fuck! Only 2 questions? Okay, well, I'll get the easy one. I'll get the easy one out. What dating app did you met her in?
Boo, which is a weird one. So
okay.
Boo is this dating app that I actually like. Part of it I agree with it, part of it I don't. It's all based on personality types, and
I think you've mentioned it before.
You take a personality quiz, and it gives you or you take several personality quizzes, and it gives you your Myers-Briggs, your Ocean, your Enneagram. So it's interesting because it's all based on that, and kind of tries to find you matches that are gonna mesh with your personality. But also I like the fact that it doesn't treat that as the end all be all. It's like this person has a personality that might not work with yours, but here's their profile. Do you like them? Like, do you have common interests? Stuff like that. So I thought that was cool, and I was like, okay. And I also was like, I was kind of in the mode of like, I'm just not going to take dating apps seriously now. So I'm just going to fuck around and find out.
You sure found out, huh?
I did. And somehow it worked. I think one of the questions was like, what's dorkiest about you? And I was like, I'm on this app. Let's be honest, we're all dorks here. Fucking suck it up, you pussies. Something like that, right?
Nice.
And then another one was like, what's overrated? And I was like, J.K. Rowling, fucking Harry Potter sucks. No one can prove me wrong. Because that's going to I knew that there were people who,
truly
red X.
Truly
red X on my profile because I was speaking truth to power.
Truly spitting facts. Holy.
And so it wasn't like a full meme profile. It wasn't just it was me, and it was things that I actually agree with, but it was me not taking it seriously and just kind of being the dumbass, right? And it worked. So I'm not too sad about it. And then I opened up with my one of my traditional lines, which
totally pickup lines 101. Okay.
I realized very quickly that pickup lines are 1, boring, 2, don't work, and 3, don't start conversations. So use something else. Pickup lines are shitty. Never go in with hey girl, are you a snack because you fell from a vending machine? It doesn't work. Nobody replies.
Did you just make that on the spot?
Yeah, yes I did. Girls get that 100 times a day.
Yeah.
Ask them something interesting that will get them interacting with you. So I did a weird one, which was one that I had been doing for a week, and had actually gotten a bunch of replies on that went nowhere. Mostly because I'm looking for somebody who's maybe a little bit more interesting than this. But I ask, well, okay, what do you think about penguins? You matched me. That was a weird choice. So we're going to talk about penguins for 15 minutes. What do you think about penguins? And normally I get the boring response of like, hee, that's a funny question. I guess they're cute. Like, and I'm just like, oh, so boring. Like, that's my equivalent of a guy asking a girl, hey, you know, did it hurt when you fell from heaven because you're a demon or whatever? I don't fucking know. You know, that's like my equivalent is like some girl being like, penguins are cute, haha. I'm looking for somebody who's going to be honest about it or knows something or is like, I don't know, like, let's look up penguins and figure that shit out.
Yeah, and, like somebody who with a semblance of personality.
Yeah, exactly. And Eli was like, oh my God, they are horrifying little gremlins. And I'm like, holy shit. Someone else who knows how horrifying penguins are. Penguins are not just cute little adorable things. They're terrifying. Also, they have horrifying little teeth in their beaks. It's awful. Yeah, and they have the most fucked up social lives of any animal. Anyways, so then we started talking about that and it worked. And it worked. I learned that worked. And partially because her roommate, who is a really funny gay guy who I now have been talking with, and we've been forming a pretty solid friendship, I think. And he was like, because I messaged her like, hey, yo, what do you think about penguins? And Anakin was like, did he just ask you about penguins? Like, what the fuck? That's different. And so we ended up having like a 30-minute conversation about penguins. And then we ended up like texting back and forth. And over the course of like 4 or 5 days, we exchanged like 1,000 text messages.
Well, Eli, you cut a weird one. Let me tell you. Worry. I have known this man for how long now? 6 months? Yeah, you cut a weird one. If that's what you wanted, man, you're in it for a wild ride. Trust me.
She doesn't catch the live podcast. She does listen to the podcast.
That's what my question 2 was going to be. So now I get a bonus question.
Yeah. She does listen to the podcast. So she knows a lot of my crazy stories. We also, on our first date, I like went into the RuneScape story, and I've already told her like the fly me like a kite story and stuff like that. And shut up, Index, please don't. Anyways,
I was gonna say, Index, you don't have to worry. She's not gonna hurt him. Thule is gonna hurt Thule way before anybody gets to hurt Thule.
That is 175% accurate. Anyways,
I don't understand.
What is your second allotted question?
My second allotted question is, what are her thoughts on VTubers?
She thinks it's kind of weird, but she thinks it's cool.
All right, I don't know. Got it. I got the idea of where she is within the VTubing spectrum. Understood.
Yeah. She's not like she doesn't know about it. She is kind of like me as far as VR chat is concerned. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'll play with like my friends. If they're like, hey, yo, get on VR chat, I'll be like, all right, no cap.
Okay.
I'm not going to like embroil myself in the community anymore.
So that was a short question. So let me throw you another half question. That's climbing date when? Climbing
date, rock climbing? She goes climbing with me most Fridays.
Okay, so it's already happened. Got it. All right, cool.
Yeah, it's already happening. It's not really a date per se, or I guess it's more like a double/triple date, because usually Jimmy and his wife and Ender and his girlfriend show up too. So
nothing like hurting yourself with your friends to spice things up. Exactly. I hope you never take me out to rock climbing, because you're gonna find out real fucking quick just how little physical effort I'm able to output.
When I visit you, we're gonna go rock climbing, and it'll be a great time. And there's no such thing as judgment, Holic.
Listen,
the rock climbing community is a judgment-free community.
We
do not care.
The only rocks that I am willing to climb are stairs, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, we should find a time. I would like to go while I'm in Connecticut, because I'm going to be skipping rock climbing for 2 weeks. So let's go rock climbing when I'm there, Index. Anyways, yeah, that was also kind of a short question. So
Yeah.
do you want to ask something else?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay.
I don't want to ask
Yeah.
anything else because I don't think there's
Okay.
anything of value that's worth asking anymore.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, it's been fun. It's feels like it's actually a healthy relationship, and that's good.
I hope it stays that way, man, and that you
Me
guys
too.
have fun.
Me too.
I'm not.
Me too.
I'm not gonna ask much more until I hear some weird story that you're inevitably gonna have to fucking spill the beans on in this podcast.
There's definitely weirdness is gonna happen. It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. I know, but she doesn't know, which is why I'm mentioning it right now. Listen, Eli, if he's not gonna be willing to talk about it in this stream, I'm gonna do my darnest to make him spill the beans here. You have been warned. You have been warned, young lady.
So here is one snippet of a story.
Okay. See, it's already happening. I think you have to put in the effort.
Yeah. Essentially, I crashed at her place last night after rock climbing because I was exhausted, and also I normally, you know, we get pizza or Chinese after rock climbing. And most of the people weren't there. Eli left early to go hang out with some friends, and some other people had left to go do other stuff. And so it was just me and Jimmy, and then we decided to get Vietnamese at this restaurant that Jimmy and his wife really like. And essentially, I ended up puking in her bathroom at 4 a.m. because I ate bad Vietnamese food, which is really annoying to me because I even thought, like, this is a new restaurant. What is, like, the tamest, blandest thing I can get? So I got fucking egg fried rice. I got egg fried rice and got food poisoning from fucking egg fried rice. And I was, like, mad about that because I'm like, what the fuck? This should not, like, of anything to give me food poisoning, this is the most boring food that I could have eaten. And so, yeah,
you got food poisoned anyways, and you didn't even had anything like nice. It's just whatever.
Yeah, it's just fucking bland egg fried rice. So I was kind of salty about that, but yeah, I was puking from like 4 to 6 a.m. this morning, which is why I'm exhausted. At you know, in Eli's toilet, and I felt so bad. But at least she had the common sense. I was like, go back to bed. You don't need to be here for this. I'll be fine. You do not need to be here for this. And she was like, all right, I'm going to go back to bed because I can't really help. And I'm like, thank God. Like, I got a sane one. I don't need help vomiting. It's not appealing to anybody. I am fine being
that's
during that process.
Yeah, that's like third base material stuff right there.
Yeah, I'm good.
You guys are a little too early for that one.
Go to bed. I'll deal with my stomach problems.
Oh,
you do not have to participate in this experience. And so, yeah, that was something that happened. But yeah. Anyways, it was a good time.
Good times.
Other than that.
All right, I think this is a good point to call the podcast episode.
All right.
Here.
Holic, where do we find you, friend?
You can find me here on twitch.tv/Halic25. I have a Twitter now, but I'm not going to link it yet because I still don't know how Twitter works. So maybe next episode I'll link it.
Just say your radical political opinions. That's how Twitter works.
Yeah, but I don't. No, let's just. I'm not gonna open that bag of beans today. I'm just not going to. So for now, as per usual, you guys can find me on my Twitch, which I already mentioned. And in my Twitch, you can find a link to my Discord server where I put pictures of my rabbit and the foods that I order on Uber Eats that are 100% overpriced.
True.
Yeah. Totally.
You have ads from Uber Eats on your Twitch, by the way.
I do. That should probably say a lot about how much I've been ordering recently.
True.
I
just deglitched myself. Don't worry about it.
Which is why I am excited to not have to order Uber Eats anymore. I can actually go to the store and buy the things I want to buy.
And buy the things you want to buy, or go to a restaurant and buy the things that you want to buy.
No, I am done ordering. I've always Like, I'm gonna be learning a shit ton more recipes now that I can actually go and pick up the things I actually want to buy. Anyways, Tuli, where can we find you? My not so single friend.
You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Cthulhu Tilly. You can also find me on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, as well as in all of those, I believe, there are links to my Discord server, which is for the streams that I do on a very rare occasion, as well as for this podcast. I post updates and announcements there if you want to keep up to date with that. So please go join that if you're listening to the podcast. There will be a link to all of this, including our YouTube channel if you're listening to it on the normal podcast. On the normal podcast, there will be links to the podcast, as well as both of our Twitches and both of our Discords below the video and below the podcast in the description. So go ahead and give us a follow there to keep up with us and to interact with us on a little bit more personal basis, because I am on Discord all the time. I think Holic is on Discord a lot too. So it's pretty much
I live on Discord.
So, yeah, low key, same. I think I've spent less time on Discord recently because relationship, but that's pretty much it.
I am single and I have nothing to do, so I'm gonna be on my Discord forever.
Single and ready to mingle?
No, I specifically avoided trying to say that, but thank you, Tuli.
Okay, you're welcome. Do you want me to do my other one?
What's your other one? Just get it out of the system.
Are you
just get it out of the way? Get out of the way so we don't have to talk about it in the next episode.
A single Pringle ready to tingle.
I regret everything. Oh god, that actually physically hurt me. Like my chest sank a little bit as I heard those words coming out of your mouth. Like you had me at Pringle and you added the extra stuff. Like shit, is there still more? All right. My VTuber model crashed. Perfect time to call the stream.
Okay. Have a great night, everybody.
Actually died from cringe.
My cringe is so hard that I crashed Holic's VTuber model.
Yeah.
That is how cringe I am. Perfect. All right.
We appreciate you listening to Chatting in the Void with Cthulhu Tilly and Holic. You can find a video version of our podcast on YouTube and our audio podcast anywhere where podcasts are found. Go give Holic a follow at twitch.tv/Holic25 and catch our podcast live at 7 p.m. EST every other Saturday. Have a wonderful day, or night, or whatever. Thank you for joining us in the Void. Hope to see you next time.